Hello and welcome to another episode of Study of X, the bi-weekly X-Men podcast where we discuss the crackling age of X-Men comics. I am your host, Tim, and with me as always is Sergio.
Hi, hello. It's an age now, not an era.
Yeah, we've, sometimes the wording changes.
Hey, we upgraded.
Yeah, and Chris.
Hello, I am here to talk about your weekly dose of the S.W.O.R.D. I hope you're excited to learn more about the inner regentry politics of the Snarks.
Oh, I'm very excited to hear about the S.W.O.R.D.
I am too.
I really like these issues. I feel like they're going to be fun to discuss. I'm not particularly looking forward to a S.W.O.R.D part. But yeah, alright, I'm in. Okay.
S.W.O.R.D is it's a fun word. Whenever I see it, I'm like, yeah, S.W.O.R.D.
It's such like a weird aspect of these issues. I think it's very funny that there is just this intergalactic like Game of Thrones thing going on in the background.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's just kind of a little side plot to everything else. It's great.
Just here's the species just doing a political power grab back here. But yeah, we should get into it. S.W.O.R.D number 2.
Almost. S.W.O.R.D number 3.
3, right?
Yep.
3.
What?
Yeah, not S.W.O.R.D number 2.
S.W.O.R.D number 3 was last week. Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I gotcha.
So, S.W.O.R.D number 3 is where we're going to start off. This one is titled Everywhere Man, and this is written by Al Ewing and came out in February of 2021. And normally, the art is just done by Valerio Schiti, and he's the normal artist, but on this one they have a couple of guest artists as well. They have Ray Anthony Height, Bernard Chang, and Marte Garcia. If you read this issue, which I highly recommend you do, you will see why, because oh boy does Manifold go places.
Oh yeah, this is
fun.
This is a crazy issue. I heard you guys liked Manifold.
It could be described in like 5 sentences, but like play-by-play is a lot of fun to go through.
Yeah.
And it's basically how cool Manifold is.
Yes.
That's what the plot of this is.
Yes, and it's so cool. And I love how it opens up where we have Manifold walking outside the S.W.O.R.D station in space, talking to one of his subordinates, being like, hey, keep everything on lockdown. I need to go a few places.
Yeah. Just taking a quick walk just while the symbiotes are attacking.
Mm-hmm. And oh boy does he go places, because right after the first page we get this really nice double page spread of Eden Fessy walking through a whole collection of different worlds and realities because he's just trying to get home to Australia.
Yeah.
Taking the long way around.
Just a little
he did.
Side note, there's a line here when he's kind of talking to Lila early on in the issue where he's clearly talking about Gateway, explaining that he can speak, and I really enjoy that tidbit there.
Yes.
I didn't realize until like halfway through this issue that he was talking about Gateway in that moment.
Yeah.
He calls him Gates.
Yeah, Gates.
Yes. I think that's really cute, and, that is his mentor, but I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't figure it out on page 1, you're going to figure it out by, like, page 5.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Yep. It's really good. I like it.
So, do you get this, you want to describe this page spread here?
So, oh boy, how do I even describe it? It's a really lovely layout of what the artist and the colorist did, where it's Manifold walking through these different realities, and it's all done by a descending color spectrum. So you start with blue, green, yellow, orange, purple, violet, then blue. Fantastic.
There is, I want to talk about, for the most part, these are not interconnected panels, but there is like one object, which it's a different object in every single panel, but it kind of connects through the yellow like red and orange sections.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It happens in every panel, but it's more subtle on the ones that do not have this like huge branch / tentacle / whatever the other thing is.
Yeah.
Kind of like giant blood vessel.
Yeah, it might be. I don't know. This is again just crazy page. I like this a lot.
It looks fantastic.
Yes, and it is. It draws your eye into following where Manifold is going until you get to the end. Masterfully done.
Yeah. Did you know that Eden Fessy is not a teleporter?
I did not. I thought he just kind of teleported around places.
Yeah, no, he doesn't do that.
He doesn't do that? Are we sure?
But yeah, pops up in Australia to talk to some friends.
Yes, he shows up here in Katajuta, which is in central Australia. I went ahead and looked up some pictures of this place. Very, very pretty, by the way. Very pretty place. But this is where Manifold is meeting back up with his uncle Baz and his uncle's friend Sam. Both of these characters are new creations. This is their first appearance.
Yeah. Just some friends of Manifold.
Yeah, you get the gist of it.
Yeah.
It doesn't say explicitly that it's his uncles, but he definitely, like old friends, old acquaintances at the very least.
Yeah. And yeah, he just kind of catches up with them, makes sure they're okay. Again, the symbiotes are invading. They're under darkness at the moment.
Yeah, you mentioned it already, but this is a King in Black kind of tie-in issue.
Yeah.
Yes.
I really like this bit here where someone's like, "Oh, is your mob in on this?" And he's just like, "What, the X-Men?" And he's just like, "No. I thought you were with the Avengers. X-Men are cool. We like the X-Men here in Australia."
Yeah, Manifold's kind of been around the block a little bit, so it is a bit confusing where he is at one time or another. And this is where Manifold has to explain a little bit that, yeah, he was working with King T'Challa for a little bit in Space Wakanda, which is, I think, either ending or was going on at this point.
I think it like had just wrapped.
Yeah, and yes, what Manifold says here is correct. He was pretty much kidnapped by T'Challa to use his powers for, space politics.
Yeah, he spent the majority of that run brainwashed, so wasn't quite himself.
No, not a good time.
But yeah, he's kind of he's dwelling on that a little bit. He's pretty not happy with what he did while like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, his family just kind of asked him if he's doing okay, and he's like, "Yeah, it's good. I like what I got going on here."
Mm-hmm. Krakoa is a good place, good people, and they do remind him, as it is both double speak for his powers and also for himself, that if he wants to go somewhere, he has to know where he started from.
Yeah.
So always keep that in mind.
Yeah. I like this little conversation a lot here. But yeah, he opens up a portal here and steps through it and tells him like, "Hey, one of the laws here, they're okay. I like Krakoa. One of their laws is respect the sacred land." As he's like disappearing, and there's just like a beat, and then one of I think Baz here says they still had to make it a law.
Mm-hmm. just really fun, bantering and back and forth.
Yeah.
It's really warm conversation. I like how much this tells me about their relationship, even if they're new characters.
Yeah. Same. And it also tells you more about Manifold himself. We've seen him a bit here and there, but now you get to see him with people that he's known for a while. He has his affectionate fun name for Gateway with Gates. And, just his talk about being safe, being with family, with his people, with friends. It's a good look on him.
Yeah. I like this scene a lot. I think it's a very good, like, way to familiarize yourself with this character before we do a whole issue about him.
Yes. Absolutely.
He's very charismatic.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
But yeah, Snark War.
Snark War! It's so much fun. Oh boy. Do you guys want to know where the snarks came from?
Yep. Yes.
Sure.
All right. So, the Snurks or the Snarks were first introduced in Power Pack number 1 in 1984.
Wow. Okay. Power Pack.
Yeah, no, they're one of the Power Pack creations. So, these are a bipedal race of reptilians who focus on stealing superpowers to empower themselves for their wars. A Snark War is the colloquial term for a Snurk's War of Succession, which is triggered by the death of the regent, where all remaining clans then fight one another to become the leader. And with this data page, that's essentially what it's explaining to you. It's just, hey, the leader of the Snurks died. Now all of the other clans in the galaxy are fighting each other to be able to become the regent.
Yeah. They have odds.
Yes, which I think is very funny.
Yeah. So, yeah, we got Kuga of Boa clan here, who is the eldest, who is apparently a radical modernist, but is in retreat after a catastrophic defeat. Weasel of Cheetah Clan, who is a traditionalist, 14-1, but is currently just besieged at the edge of utopian Kree space.
Not a good place to be.
Yeah, he's trying to negotiate. Things aren't looking too hot over there. Condor of Gylar Clan and Liga of Gylar Clan, the youngest, they're modern reformists, and an agreed alliance. They're going to take everybody out until it's only them left. And then the favorite to win, I don't know how to say this name. Nope, I can't even attempt it. You want to go for it, Chris?
Oh man, why'd you have to throw it to me? Diagyar?
Diagyar. Let's go with that.
Yeah.
Of Boa clan. Radical.
Nailed it.
The radical traditionalists eschews and fixed power base in favor of a guerrilla fleet. Yeah, he doesn't have a planet. He doesn't have a base. He's just like roaming the galaxy with his fleet.
Honestly, smart move.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, that's probably the smartest thing out of all of these heirs in what they could have done.
So, Manifold has an appointment with Dagiar here, who is surprised he could keep the appointment.
Mm-hmm. Especially considering, he doesn't have a home planet, and his fleet keeps moving, so it's kind of hard to track him down and then teleport here.
Yeah.
Sorry, not teleport. Kindly ask to come here.
Yeah.
I like the ship designs.
Me too.
For
they're
Snark.
very cool, yes.
The main one reminds me of Samus Aran's ship, but a lot spikier.
Yep. It's got like fish spikes.
Yes.
And they're very chunky in a very like satisfying way. It sounds like they would they're a little clunky.
Yeah.
But I love those designs. Yeah.
They kind of look like they're very much ships, but they almost look like insects.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm thinking of like deep sea fish.
Yeah. It's a cool
they're very cool.
It's a cool look. But Manifold here came to make a deal. They're offering 2 mutants.
Named Burner and Lifter. One of them, is, as his name states, has pyrokinesis. The other one has gravikinesis, so gravity, and also has increased strength and durability. And as Diagyar is going to say here, the operation to steal superpowers is often deadly, in which Manifold says, yeah, they're kind of hoping for that.
Yeah, which, he's a little bit... Dagiar doesn't really get what he's laying down here, but it's very apparent to the audience. They're kind of hoping they die so they can just resurrect them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you've been reading along, you kind of know the gist already.
Yeah. It's a little morbid, but it does make sense. This is a good way to get a favor without really offering much of anything.
Yes, it is. Especially since if this guy here does actually win in the contest, they now have the head of a massive species as their ally, who then also owes them.
But yeah, so Manifold is trying to make a deal here. He's going to give him these 2 mutants, and he's like, hey, you're kind of mobile. You can bring your fleet anywhere. You want to maybe help us out here on Earth with Null, this situation?
Mm-hmm. And as this fine lizard fellow pours himself a glass of wine, he says, hey, have you heard of the planet Ortua?
Yeah. And yeah, Dagiar goes on an antidote here. Apparently, his sister Kuga was planning on conquering Ortua. Was getting ready to take this. This is going to be a really strategic planet in the war here. But as she was about to take it, she couldn't talk. She wasn't able to because Noel had destroyed this already.
And this gave Dagiar the chance to outflank her and deal massive losses. And he says, why would I go and destroy Noel? I don't have a planet, and he also just took out one of the largest roadblocks to my ascension. So no, I'm not going to help you.
Yeah, I don't have a planet. He destroys planets. This is good for me. I'm a Noel fan.
Mm-hmm. A big Noel fanboy over here. This man loves symbiotes.
Yeah.
This guy's in the middle of a game of Cosmic Encounter, and he loves the fact that Noel is denying his opponent some points.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He knows eventually he's going to have to deal with it, but for now, that's okay.
But yeah, Dagiar just has himself a rant here. And is like, no, my children will make sweet war by their light. And tells him there's not going to be a deal. Get out of here. Manifold's like, all right, have fun with your endless war. And tells him he hopes it brings him joy, to which Dagiar responds that joy is the Earther word for snark war, which is wild. Like,
amazing. Their term for a war of succession is also their word for joy.
Yeah. But yeah, just as he says this, an unseen person calls his name, and he is cut down.
Yes, seemingly assassinated right after this.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing we will learn about Manifold: great powers, but terrible timing.
Yes. The man does not know how to time things very well.
No, not at all.
He misses some key events.
Yeah.
Yes, he does. In his haste to get out of places, he should have maybe stuck around, maybe for a beat or two longer.
Yeah, which we'll get to. But yeah, the Alpha Flight station.
Woo, we're back. It's Alpha Flight. You know, they used to be good guys, Canadian superheroes. Now they're run by the guy who really wants to genocide mutants.
Yeah. It's run by Henry Gyrich. Have we discussed Alpha Flight before?
I think we've mentioned it here or there because we have talked about the twins in X Factor with North Star and everybody, and they're big Alpha Flight folks. Just a quick-ish rundown. Like I kind of joked there, they are a Canadian superhero group. They're tied heavily to the Canadian government. They've gone through different heroes, different locations and bases. At the moment, Alpha Flight is more of a space thing in where we are right now in the story, which is why they have a base in space.
Yeah,
and all of this is going on.
Honestly, not really much of a superhero team at this point, and more of just a space station. But yeah, Brand led the space station before, and this is her new job. Captain Marvel's kind of on it, but yeah, Henry Gyrich took over. Not exactly the most competent fellow.
No. I mean, competent if you really want him to make bad decisions and try and murder a bunch of people. But that's if it's your goal. I have no idea what kind of higher up in Canada decided to make that decision, but it's very...
Yeah. So Manifold shows up in his office, calls to him, and he hears Gyrich coming down the office or hallway, talking about the Krakoa problem.
Yes, specifically he mentioned that he's talking to Killian. This is a Dr. Killian Devo, who is the director and head of Orcus. We've seen him before. He has all of those very, very cool augments on his face and eyes. He hasn't really shown up since House and Powers of X, but clearly is still around.
Yeah. And yeah, we get this interesting data page, but we have panels to it.
It's really neat. It's a fun twist on the data pages we're used to, because it helps. It just works in tandem with what you're reading.
Yeah. We get Brand's notes on Manifold here. And yeah, he's not a teleporter. He just talks to space.
which I really like Brand's thoughts on this, where she describes a little bit what he's doing here in the panels, which, if Eden Fessy tells the universe to fold itself until he can walk across it in a single step, it does. If he tells space to warp so light passes all the way around it without ever hitting him, to form a little bubble of invisibility just for him, it will. He says it's not telling, it's asking. It still terrifies me if I think about it too long.
That aside, he's a really nice guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of with Brand on that, where it is a little overwhelming and frightening if you think about it a little too much, where he's just asking the universe, hey, I need to get from A to B. Can you help me out here? And the universe, as a being of some kind, says, sure, man.
Yeah. It's cool.
But he does use his other asking powers here and does create that little bubble of invisibility where he's able to spy on Guy Ritchie's phone call, where he's, like Tim said, talking about the mutant problem, and he had printed out this very suspicious sheet, which is an Orcus protocol data organization chart.
Yeah. But no, he didn't. He has a redacted version of it, but no, he obviously didn't print it out. What are you talking about? And he promptly leaves it on his desk.
Mm-hmm. Where Manifold goes, picks up the printed copy, reads it, goes, "Oh no," puts it back, and then leaves.
Yeah. But there is a really interesting bit here while Manifold is doing this, where Guy Ritchie is kind of talking. Also, just as an aside, this office is really cool.
It is a very cool office, I'm not gonna lie. Just these massive windows out into space where you can see Earth beneath you, these plush red chairs, books everywhere.
Yeah, like, imagine just, like, the cushiest looking, like upper class, attorney's office, and then just imagine the windows were overlooking space.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does look like a law office.
Yeah.
Yes.
There is a interesting bit here where he's kind of discussing the null thing and how they're trying to approach that here. And I think this line, it's kind of subtle in terms of, like, I don't think they, like, are directly calling to each other, but, like, I think you can make the connection pretty easily. But Guy Ritchie has a line here about, we have to assume the superheroes are going to do what they always do. The alternative is unthinkable. And that is in stark contrast to Brand's, we need to plan for them to fail.
Yes. Yes, where Guy Ritchie and it sounds like maybe Killian is factoring in, oh, the heroes are going to save the day like they always do, where Brand is much more defeatist about it.
Yeah, like, we need to figure out what to do if this goes south.
Mm-hmm.
Where, again, Guy Ritchie isn't even, like, really considering that. He throws out this idea of the worst happens, who will the survivors be? Mutants, gamma mutants, nobody human, and it's just like, he can't even wrap his head around what it would look like if the Avengers didn't succeed here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Might as well assume they're going to make it and carry on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, good call out on that. I actually didn't call that between their two thought processes.
Yeah, I think it really just kind of shows the effectiveness of Brand versus, like, Guy Ritchie's kind of small-scale thinking. But yeah, we get a Orcus Protocol chart here. It's a redacted version of something that we've kind of seen before.
Vaguely. I actually went ahead and went back and looked. This layout in the version we're looking at is new. We've seen kind of an Orcus Protocol thing before, but this direct strategies, it's sort of like this, it's the Orcus symbol in the center where there's an executive, a central executive, and then there are 6 circles off to the side, and it kind of shows you what seem to be the names who are the heads of those departments.
Yeah. They got a Canva license.
Yes, they did.
A graphic designer.
Yes, and they were like, "Hey, we need you to put this together so we know who's doing what. It'll look nice."
Also, Guy Ritchie spent so much ink in this page.
Yes.
There's so
I would
much.
Never print this like this.
Yeah, like it's ridiculously redacted. Like, there's nothing in this chart that's worth printing out.
No, and the bottom half is all in black.
Yeah.
That's such a waste of ink.
But, yeah, pretty much all we learned from here is there's a research and development organization, operations and offense organization, and an infrastructure and influence organization. And that is led by Henry Gyrich.
Yes, so he is actually pretty deep into Orcus. We've heard him mentioned before, but he was never mentioned as being an ally or working with them.
Yeah, it tracks if you know this character at all. But
yes, it does.
Yeah, this is our first direct confirmation that this guy is working with them.
Yes. As well as some hints that, hey, there are some other names here. And, the following being, we're probably going to learn who they are.
Yeah. Manifold says crap and puts it back on his desk. Yeah, kind of hears him talking about how Gyrich is saying humanity's kind of in a distant second at this point. But they'll show their hand soon and we'll get a lot more recruits. And Manifold passes through the gate as soon as Gyrich starts talking about his Mullen sword.
Yes. Again, king of bad timing there, because that would have been really good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of burying the lead there.
Yeah.
Yes. And just out of curiosity, because Tim and I know the answer to this question, but Sergio, out of everyone we've met in S.W.O.R.D, who do you think would be a mole?
Oh, I have absolutely no idea. I don't even remember the names. I'm so bad at this.
No, it's okay. We've been introduced to a lot of characters in 3 issues.
S.W.O.R.D is like at least 8 people, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, if, possibly more, because we keep going between some side characters, some characters go missing, like Cable. There's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I wish it was Cortez, so that we had an excuse to kick him out, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Good guess, though.
Yeah.
We will see eventually.
But yeah.
It could be Brand herself.
Yeah.
Could
That
be.
would be fun.
But yeah, back to the Launchpad jump suite. Manifold is here to report. Something's up with Henry Gyrich here.
Do you remember that group that's orbiting the sun with the Sentinel head, Orcus? They got Henry Gyrich, and Brand's like, hey, okay, cool, but like the null problem is a bigger deal right now?
Yeah, like, we'll just have you handle this. Manifold says, like, okay, yeah, I'll just be a minute, and walks through the portal and just sees Null Cable with most of the characters from issue 2 just held up in, like, pods.
Nightmare, symbiote, awful, horrific pods. Pretty much an antithesis of what the normal Krakoan look is.
Yeah, like, we got Banshee here, there's Fabian, there's Magneto, Pybok, and Frenzy, and Random, just strung up.
Yeah, no, a bad time.
And some more. It looks like he got quite a bit of people here. But yeah, we'll get back to that. We're going to take a small detour and go into see what the Marauders are up to during this whole event.
Yes, and this is the only X-Men comic that is officially titled King in Black. The others just kind of have a little side thing on their normally numbered issues, like S.W.O.R.D, whereas this one is just going to be a standalone. It is just called King in Black Marauders #1. The title of it is Queen in Red, written by Gary Duggan, who writes the normal Marauders, and was also released in February of 2021. And I do want to mention that the artist for this is Luke Ross. He is a Brazilian comic book artist with a pretty large portfolio of work. He's worked on Spider-Man, a smattering of X-Men titles, and after he worked on this tie-in issue, he went on to work on nearly every single Star Wars comic that came out in the following years. So he is very, very deep into Star Wars at the moment.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Working at the Star Wars mines.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, things aren't looking good. Earth has fallen. Cyclops and Storm are symbiotes. We want to make them not symbiotes. So we get like a quick little recap here of just like King in Black. They talk about Eddie getting dropped. Again, Cyclops and Storm are symbiotes. The Marauders are kind of launching a rescue mission here to turn them back to normal.
Yes, and our go-to between X-Force and the Marauders is Bishop here. He is the one that is relaying all of this catch-up information as Kate, Iceman, Pyro, and Bishop go and head on their boat over to New York to hopefully save whatever they can.
I like Kate's line here about just like, wait, this is a Venom thing?
So Spider-Man really needs to get a grip on his guys.
Yeah.
Which, fair.
But yeah, they're about 6 minutes from Manhattan. The plan is just go in, get their dudes, get the heck out of there.
Yep. Saving others, maybe, but at the moment, the focus is on mutants.
Yeah, that's a stretch goal. We're just gonna we just got to get our two dude. And yeah, their plan, just have Iceman and Pyro make some noise. Kate and Bishop will go in a little bit stealthy. But as they're planning this, they get a mayday from a ship called the Rambling Bard.
Yes. Fantastic name for a ship. I really like it. And apparently, Kate did too. Well, not really, but she is not going to let a mayday call go unheard, and she immediately takes control of the boat again and turns it around back over to that civilian ship so they can go and save them first.
Yeah. Also, and just to put it in, make sure the details are here, the mayday is due to them being attacked by a symbiote dragon.
Yes, not just a symbiote dragon, a whole baker's dozen of the things.
Yeah. But yeah, they all decide to go help, and that's where they're heading.
Yes, so once they get over to the boat and start fighting off the dragons to save all of these civilians, we have a bit of inner dialogue here from Bishop as he says, you know, Kate picked me because I was the asymmetrical choice. S.W.O.R.D didn't have anything on him, and she needed someone that could watch her back.
Yeah. And he feels like he failed at that because she did end up dead for quite a bit.
Yes, so technically he is correct. He did actually fail in that. I feel like he should be as hard on himself for that. Yes, maybe they all could have seen it coming that S.W.O.R.D was going to do something, you know, underhanded, but not in the way he was going to.
Yeah. And the other bit of his narration here is that he is determined to complete this mission to get Cyclops and Storm, even if it goes against whatever Kate's doing at the moment.
Yeah. We then get a couple of pages of the battle rages. You know, a dragon is frozen, it gets shot, it reforms. You know, bad things are happening, but they're starting to actually save the people on board.
Yeah, it's a pretty straightforward battle, but it's entertaining enough.
Yeah.
Also, there's a very strong implication in Bishop's speech about him having some ulterior mission.
Yes.
When he says that he's willing to do what he needs to do, even if it costs him the position on the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of speak of he's not saying everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the day saved.
Yeah. They got the crew on the boat. We're good to go. She asked him, like, hey, you know, what's your cargo? This is going down. Then we get like a little .. here for some reason. I couldn't tell you why. And the captain of the boat just says, oh yeah, this is no big deal. Olive oil.
Mm-hmm. It's whatever. It can be just grown again. You can let the ship sink.
Yeah, it's fine. But Bishop notices something with the sound, and he just says, I gotta go check something out. And goes...
Yeah, the olive oil was just happening to tap an SOS sign using Morse code.
Yeah.
Yes, as it tends to do.
Yeah.
Olive oil known for doing that.
But yeah, walks into a bunch of people who are waist deep in water, and someone's banging on, they are chained up, they're locked up in a cage as it's, yeah.
Yeah, no, this is not a simple civilian boat. These are human traffickers.
Yeah. He radios in like, hey, we need the ship stabilized, and luckily Marauders, very powerful.
Yes.
Iceman can just make some ice in the water, so
So the ship is immediately stabilized. Bishop comes out and says, hey, these guys are traffickers. We need to save everybody else. Buy us some time to get the survivors on board the ship, and then we gotta figure this out.
Yeah. Kate questions the captain a little bit. He's like, oh, I didn't know, which, that's bullshit. And Kate gives him a backhand for his trouble.
A really good backhand, by the way.
Yeah. Lockheed's doing very good against these dragons, by the way.
Yes, he's doing a great job, and as Pyro says, it's like a chihuahua at a dog park, which is true. That's basically Lockheed's size comparison here.
Yeah. Kate says, hey, can we show these guys off our ship, please? He says, like, no, you can't leave us out here, we'll die. And they're like, yeah, we're better than that. So they lead him through a gate. Iceman stops by here, talks to Sage, just tries to figure out the most unpleasant place for them to go that's still on Earth. And yeah, they get dropped in a desert.
Yep, Africa's Namib Desert, which, is about a day's walk from the nearest town, and is also one of the largest deserts in the world. So, not a good place to be. I would like to meet the mutant that planted a Krakoan gate there, however, and ask them why they did that.
Yeah, who is making frequent trips to this desert?
Yes, a day's walk away from any civilization.
Yeah.
I mean, they're pretty much free. Might as well.
Yeah,
That's true. That's true. You may as well. If you feel like it, go for it. I just think it's a very, very odd choice.
You don't know when you're gonna need a portal to the middle of the desert.
Yeah.
This is true. The amount of movie portal mishaps where someone gets dumped in the desert, I'm sure that does happen in the Marvel universe.
Yeah. Totally.
But yeah, Captain asks him if he's gonna give him some water at least. Iceman makes him some ice cubes. He says, like, all right, good luck, and leaves. Like,
yep.
Kate mentions, hey, we gotta go into a war zone here, so we're gonna drop you in New Jersey, and hopefully you can make it from there. And is quickly met by, no, please don't take us there.
Yeah, don't take us to New Jersey, anywhere but New Jersey.
But, they don't want to go to America. Apparently, they paid these guys to take them to Canada, but they were bringing them to America instead. So they're not sure what's happening there, but they don't want to go there.
Yes. Don't blame them, honestly. It probably a better choice to go to Canada in this case than it is America.
Yeah.
So, but Kate needs to figure this out because they are still supposed to be saving Storm and Cyclops right now. So she quickly sends a message out to Emma and says, hey, we ran into a bit of trouble and we need to find a place to put these human trafficking victims. Can you and the council figure something out?
Yeah. She's like, yeah, it might take a little bit of discussion here, but Kate just kind of says, like, hey, can you make it happen? She's like, yeah, all right, hold on. And yeah, Magneto comes in to hear the discussion, asks Emma for a quick catch up where he takes off his helmet to get this just kind of dumped into his mind.
I do want to take a quick aside though, where Kate does mention that she's going to give amnesty to these people and that she initially suggests sending them to Krakoa, and Emma is like, ugh, no.
Yeah.
But we have had humans on Krakoa, most notably that one scientist early on in Marauders who I believe did the gun to take away mutant powers. They brought him here before wiping his mind. So there have been mutants here, but only for CIA opportunities.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't let those pass up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Magneto quickly realizes if they put it to a vote, this probably isn't going to go well. Kate just fires back like, hey, we're on the council. Like, all three of us here on this little phone call are on the council. We can figure this out, right? And they're like, yeah, I think we got it.
And between all three of them, they come to a pretty quick conclusion of where to send everybody. So they are going to have to sail there. It's not too far, but it is going to take long enough to where they might not be able to get to Storm and Cyclops.
Yeah. Bishop isn't happy about this. Pyro quickly calls like, "Oh yeah, that's probably not going to be convenient for the blue guy, huh?" And just reads Bishop like a book.
Yes, very, very well. I think it's because Pyro does this sort of thing himself, so he's able to clock it in another person, and he's right. Because as we see Bishop looking upset, we get a cut back to earlier, where Beast had called him in and said, "Hey, this is what's going down with Null. You need to go and save Storm and Cyclops by any means necessary."
Yeah, like it's and the any means is like, kill them if you need to.
Yeah.
Can just bring them back.
Yeah.
Yeah. For them, it's like, no problem, just bring them back. But, in a world without resurrection, this is a huge deal and a big call. But the fact that we know that they can just be brought back, it's not that surprising. Still, the fact that Beast also considered this to be an option kind of puts him on par with Brand in my brain. Like, between Beast and Brand, if you put the two of them in a room, they're going to say the world's going to end tomorrow and are figuring out a way to save humanity.
It's a funny story. I think Beast was one of the first people to like really talk to Brand on the X-Men team too.
I think so. I want to say they also dated at one point, but I may be wrong.
Yeah, that's a terrifying relationship.
Yes, that's a horrific combo. These two would feed off of each other's like worst instincts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
this really isn't like this is probably the least horrific thing.
Yeah, we've seen
Beast
Beast do.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah. Like it's not like they're permanently dying here if they did kill him. But anyway, we're good to go. Battle is wrapped up. And Kate is getting him home. To a island. Somewhere in the North Atlantic.
Where? Who knows?
Yeah, some kind of island. But the Morlocks are here. At least Callisto is. Apparently, we're on Island M.
Yes. And to just remind folks about Island M, this is one of Magneto's islands. His many islands. The man likes them. But this is very much his, and his has been tied to him in the past.
Yeah. She gives them some plants. She says, plant them. They all get little shelters here.
Mm-hmm. Fun Krakoan plant tech, and just kind of a very nice gesture, even though it was, brought with a, we're not gonna let the flat scans here on Krakoa, we'll put them on the other island.
Yeah.
So they did at the very least save these people and give them shelter, which I suppose is a good thing.
Yeah. Magneto shows up here to talk to Nyoka, who is kind of the main one of the trafficking victims that we've seen at this point. And they just kind of have a little conversation as they skip some rocks.
Mm-hmm. And, Magneto, being the dramatic individual he is, when asked if he was doing this out of the kindness of his heart and no other reason, he immediately says, "Actually, you're right. Weak nations prey upon those in need. Strong nations do not fear showing kindness."
Yeah.
A dramatic man. I don't think he cannot be dramatic.
Yeah. He tells them when the emergency passes, you will be moved like from here to wherever you want to be with assistance from our government. But yeah, tell everybody how awesome Krakoa is.
Mm-hmm. Give him a 5-star rating on Yelp. Tell him we did a good job.
Yeah. And that is the end of the King in Black tie-in for Marauders.
Yeah, it's we know how King in Black ended because we have read the entire event. We know Kate and the Marauders do not get to New York to save Storm and Cyclops. That never comes to be. So, for a tie-in, it's very loosely tied in. I almost feel like S.W.O.R.D is way heavier on that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, it feels like a...
I'm not a big fan of this one. I feel like that last bit is oddly like heavy-handed and moralistic.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of how this resolves. I did want to note when they're skipping stones, Magneto is unable to go past like one skip.
Yeah. I clocked
he
that
tries
too.
twice.
Yeah.
I like that. I like
And he
that.
doesn't get it.
Yeah, Magneto's just not good at skipping stones.
Nope.
But yeah, I agree. It kind of wraps up a little bit too cleanly. This is very much a little one-off Marauders adventure. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's there. If somebody was reading King in Black, the main story, and asked what tie-ins to read, I would tell them to skip this one. I don't think it's that important.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. Now let's get back to the real shit.
Yeah.
Let's get back to S.W.O.R.D. All right. So, S.W.O.R.D number 4, The Krakoan Sun. This is still written by Al Ewing and came out in March of 2021. And we open up to Frenzy having a bad time.
Yeah. No, she's just kind of alone in the dark here. But yeah, she's been captured by Noel here. She describes the feeling like a black hole just physically and emotionally crushing her.
Yeah, she can hear something just kind of buzzing out of her hearing range, and she thinks it's talking, but she can't quite figure it out. And after that, we cut back out of her, I guess, prison, and here to Noel Cable just monologuing his heart out to Manifold.
Yeah.
Null Cable still looking as good as ever.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so
Fantastic
cool.
design.
The cape, just the way his eyes glowing with everything, it's just such a good look for him.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the little like swirl on the forehead. I'll let it pass. The rest of the design is banger.
The swirl is silly. It's Noel's symbol specifically, and I actually didn't mention this back in...
Yeah, it's on everyone.
Yeah, I didn't mention it back in King in Black, but it is the symbol of Carcosa, which is from the King in Yellow. A very, very old story, if you've ever heard of it. If not, it is not the origins of Eldritch horror, but it is one of the stories that inspired H.P. Lovecraft to write Cthulhu. So it's that kind of a story.
Yeah. But yeah, Cable Noel is definitely monologuing his ass off here. Apparently the dead dragon still had a bunch of symbiote material left, so he just captured everybody. He's kind of sorting through them at the moment. And specifically, he's like, yeah, bring me Sunfire, and also his pet.
Yes, the one that gave him more power.
The Krakoan sun. And Fabian quickly realizes he's been lumped in here with Sunfire, begs for his life before Sunfire and Fabian are quickly dissolved into skeletons.
Yes, using really, really horrific goo.
Yeah, it is. Fabian getting caught up in this is very funny.
It is very funny. Part of me feels bad because he did actually kind of do a good thing. But, you know, as Noel Cable's going to say here, I don't like suns.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that, yes, he did technically do a good thing. He helped out Sunfire here. But he made a big show of it, and that's what got him killed, was the showboating part of it.
Yeah, that too.
Anyway, back on S.W.O.R.D Station 1.
Hey, you know what? You know that comms problem?
Yeah.
It's fixed.
Yeah, WizKid figured it out.
Looks like actually the problem had been fixed a while ago. The issue was nobody was sending a message from the other side.
Yeah.
So, it's a good thing Mentallo's here.
Yeah, Bran calls Mentallo, but Mentallo, who was still in the Arbor Magna after trying to get the 5, is having a little bit of a problem. Answers the call with, "Commander, it's not my fault." And he is on his think tank, has been knocked out of the cockpit. Hope has a gun on him.
Which is fantastic. This is just a great panel because you cut to it and it's just the 5 are just chilling. Most of them are either sitting or standing on the tank, and here's Hope with a gun.
Yeah. Hope is like, "Are you talking to Bran? Put me on the phone."
Yes, and Hope is just gonna rip Brand a new one, and she says, "Okay, lay out this plan that you have." And this is where Bran is, fully open with this plan that she let Mentallo in on. And it's pretty simple. It was get the 5 off-world to the summer home on the moon, grab the Cerebro that is there, and then run to Shi'ar space and see what happens.
Yeah. We're gonna get some DNA samples here. Not all of them, but some of them. Enough to eliminate inbreeding, if human life is wiped out. And Mentallo can perform the necessary telepathic surgery. And Hope at this point just cuts her off, and she's just like, no. Like,
no, Mentallo was not going to be the person to do that. In which she says it's like trying to wash the Mona Lisa in a car wash.
Yeah.
Which, fantastic imagery there. And poor Mentallo, because he's sitting there like, oh man, I'm right here, man.
Yeah. But yeah, she's not a fan of this plan. Doubts the safety of the Shi'ar space planet because they have lost a lot of worlds to Null recently. And doesn't want to just bring some of the DNA samples because that just flies in the face everything they're doing here. They are really reeling from losing Rockslide and Gorgon, and like losing a million more is just like unfathomable to them.
Yeah, the 5 are, quote unquote heroes. They're not gonna run from this no matter what Brand says. And as Hope is gonna also correctly clock here, she's gonna say that establishing a backup hatchery is a good idea and she's for it, but not in a crisis, not last minute. And not if Brand is going to play this game of spycraft and hiding things and mysteries and lying to people.
Yeah. And Hope like throws out why would you even do this? Like, what we don't need is a giant tank for an extraction mission. But then there's a flash of light as someone says, "Yeah, I need one though," and WizKid pops up.
Woo! And WizKid has planned for everything as he put in a small teleporter tracker in the tank. So once the gate was secure and he knew it was there, just poop, popped, teleported right on over.
Yeah, and apparently WizKid's the one driving it, which makes Mentallo kind of sad. But
yeah, he really wants to use his tank. This is his midlife crisis, and he's not even allowed to enjoy it.
Yeah, but WizKid said, like, oh, it's okay, though. Your baby's all grown up. And it's a mech. It turns into a mech. It's sick.
It's sick. It's such a cool mech.
Yeah.
It's very funny. It's extremely predictable, but it's very funny.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, no, very predictable, and you see it coming, but man, that's a good mech. It's a solid Transformers-looking mech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's real chunky.
Mm-hmm.
Which, it comes from a big tank, so makes sense that it would be.
Meanwhile, back at the Manifold versus Null Cable fight, Null Cable is singing to Manifold.
He's having a good time.
Really just taking all the horror movie monster vibes here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's really good. And he's, openly discussing, what do I do with Manifold? You are the one who can talk to the universe and get things done, the everywhere man, the one-of-a-kind space manipulator, and yet he's not classified as an Omega mutant.
Yeah, that's wild. There's someone that can do stuff more, and Manifold's like, yeah, I don't really care. And then quickly spaces the center of the sun into him.
Yes. Which is a crazy juxtaposition of, oh yeah, I know I'm not the strongest. By the way, here's the center of the sun.
Yeah, but Null Cable's like, oh yeah. Teleporting, I can do that too. And body slide by 1. Yeah, that's a Cable thing.
I'm not gonna lie, this sequence that is starting here, which is Manifold teleporting and then Null Cable teleporting to meet him with the clashing blue and yellow teleport circles, fantastic. Yeah. I love me a good teleport run. It's just so much fun.
Yeah,
it looks great.
We get what is basically a Dragon Ball Z fight here.
Yeah. We do so for like a solid 3 pages. It's real good.
Yeah.
I feel like it's space well spent.
Yeah, I agree. It's really cool. But yeah, it's Null Cable just body sliding around. Manifold just really can't seem to like get an edge up here. And also just kind of remarks like, you're not really much of a fighter. And says you're not even worth keeping. And right as he's saying this, Frenzy busts out of her cocoon. Disarms him, takes the gun off, and rips off the metal arm.
Yes, literally disarms Cable here in one swift motion.
Yeah. Remarks, Noel Cable says he's going to kill everyone she loves. She mentions that she only ever loved one person, and if he felt the same, he'd be my stepson. Was this Cyclops?
Oh, I don't...
I guess.
Well, yeah, no, it would have to be.
Yeah.
So I guess she did have a thing for Cyclops.
Of course.
Mhm.
Who doesn't?
Manifold charges up Kamehameha.
Yeah.
Yes. A really, really pretty one, too. Because he's like, hey, so anyway, now that I have a moment to breathe, by the way, I don't teleport, I talk to the universe, and she does me little favors. Like catching a piece of the sun.
It's almost more Rasengan than Kamehameha. But yeah, he just, he gets a piece of the sun in his hand and just rushes him.
Oh, beautiful panel, rushing up Cable as he's explaining that this one little gift the universe gives me, I can control who it hurts and who it doesn't.
Yeah.
And just disintegrates Null around Cable. Cable himself is fine. Null, however, is completely gone.
Yeah, and remarks, yeah, I'm not an Omega level mutant. There's someone more. Like, so don't come back here. And I just like that about Manifold's character, that he's not somebody to get upset about something like that.
Yeah, no, he's like, I don't need to be the best of the best. I don't have to be on the top. I just do what I gotta do.
Yeah.
I think the Omega level stuff, like bringing it on the actual page and on the actual text, is a little silly. I like the classification as a meta thing, or as a thing that the humans would more rely on than the mutants.
Yeah.
But the mutants, like, ranking themselves feels a little arbitrary. At the end, there's a person doing the rankings, right? So it doesn't really matter much that he's not an Omega mutant. It just means someone hasn't classified him as such.
Yeah.
Yes.
It doesn't necessarily mean that that person that is more is necessarily out there.
Right. You know, he could just be the best of talking to the universe, you know?
Yeah.
We don't know. You're right. It is just a classification, and it is typically only one used by humans. I guess this one I give more of a leniency because it's more Null doing it than it is Cable doing it. But I do agree, once you get into power level talk, it does get a little silly, especially if they do it in universe. But in this instance, I'm like, sure, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's a little silly. And I like the idea that it's the bad guys doing it, because then, you know, you get into how it's just folly to try to categorize things like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like human, or like, not human, but just potential in general.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, meanwhile, back in the hatchery, the mech is playing music. Very,
everyone's having a party.
very loudly. Everybody's just having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they're using it specifically to destroy the symbiotes because they don't like sound too much.
Nope. One of their many weaknesses, unless you're Null, in which case he has no weaknesses.
Yeah, Mentello's a little bit salty here because he's borrowing his music now. Meanwhile, back at the aftermath of the other fight, Cable's just real down on himself here. Just really feels like this is another failure for him.
Yes, I do feel bad for him. It's just a very small thing. He only talks a few times here, but after his loss in S.W.O.R.D, and now getting controlled by Null here and leading it to all of this destruction and death on Krakoa, I feel bad for him.
Yeah. Magneto comforts him here, just like gives him like, hey, it's not you.
It's all of us. This thing took your father also.
Yeah.
You know, this thing is strong.
Yeah. And yeah, Frenzy just asked him, what are we gonna do? We gotta join the battle. And he was like, yeah, sure. Contact the 5. Let's get Sunfire to the front of the queue here.
Mm-hmm.
And anybody with anti-symbiotic ability, we're gonna get like out there. Manifold can guard the gates. We should be good. And he holds up his skull like it's in Hamlet, picks up Fabian Cortez's skull and says, we will resurrect Fabian Fabian Cortez, we have matters to discuss.
Again, I feel like I don't even need to say it anymore. Magneto is the most dramatic of men. He did not have to hold up his skull and take this pose with his cape in his other hand, but he did it anyway.
Yeah. And yeah, we get a memo here that's a lot of redacted in it, and it's to the Quiet Council of Krakoa, just from Magneto, just requesting a meeting at the earliest convenience. We're gonna have a council meeting about, probably what Fabian's talking about.
Yes, not just Fabian either, where it's Fabian and two others, the other two being redacted. And Magneto here also says that the matter will be debated by a quorum of 8 on the Quiet Council, so even if it is not a full council, they're still going to talk about whatever this is.
Yeah, and there is a handwritten note here from Xavier just saying, hey, there's no reason not to grant the request, but you shouldn't do this.
My friend, Xavier's putting his hand on Magneto's shoulder going, maybe rethink this.
Yeah.
What's the second law again?
That's the murder no man.
Okay, alright. Yeah, I thought so. I just wanted to check.
Yeah. Then we got another data page here that's just deep secret eyes only, do not unredact. Utilize full telepathic safeguards, and it's just entirely redacted text with just the word Vought, who I assume is Amelia Vought, Snark War, and Soul. So
Snark War. Let's go.
And that's the end of the issue here, and that's the end of our King in Black tie-in for X-Men. S.W.O.R.D rules.
Rules.
Yeah, it was a good one. I liked it.
Yeah. S.W.O.R.D is it's a lot of fun. Even though it did end up tying into King in Black here, it still was able to do its own thing at the same time. We have this bit with Snark War. That one Snark did end up dying by an unknown hand that we have no idea what it is. We know how strong Manifold is now. Fabian's making inroads with Magneto. There's stuff moving.
Yeah. There's a lot of things. We get some Orcus development here as well. Yeah, it's very much, I think this does a very good job of advancing the storyline of S.W.O.R.D just in general, while also not being bogged down by King in Black, but using that crossover to just kind of really efficiently.
Yes. Yeah, very, very efficiently. And, contrasting that with what we just read also, which is Marauders tie-in for the King in Black, you can see the difference there. Marauders, it felt more like not a checkbox, but I have to do the tie-in, of here's just a story for that, here it is, that's it.
I would call it a checkbox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does feel very much like filler.
Yeah, and I don't... Sorry, go on.
Oh, no, I was just gonna... I'm basically repeating what the both of us just said, whereas S.W.O.R.D was able to take that, tie it in, do its own thing, and keep running. In more pages once you add up all of the issues, but per issue it is less pages.
Yeah. And to be fair, I think that Marauders issue was fine as a little standalone adventure there, but yeah, I really enjoyed what S.W.O.R.D was laying.
I really appreciate also, considering that this is, issue 4 of S.W.O.R.D, how much it takes its time to introduce its characters and develop them a little more and introduce them to us, because, 4 issues in for a set of, again, 6 or 7 new characters, at least for me or for, someone who joined with Krakoa, is a lot to ask in terms of becoming acquainted, and it's doing a really good job with that. While juggling both the King in Black tie-in and its own plots that it's moving forward.
Yeah, I would agree.
Same. I would fully agree with it. And even, going into this when I first read it, I didn't know these characters much either, so I definitely ran across the same thing, and it was nice to get them introduced. And even going back to it now, and reading it with hindsight, knowing what's going to come with the rest of the Krakoan era, it's just really, really well done. You know, you just get a perfect sense of who these characters are, what they're doing, and why they're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you kind of know what everyone's deal is now.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly.
Yes. There's still a couple, you know, we haven't really seen WizKid too much. We saw Peeper once, and then he kind of disappeared.
I feel like we got a decent amount of WizKid. Like, I feel like I know...
Yeah, I wouldn't say WizKid we don't know. I like looking at the list.
I would say random we don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, if we're comparing
I
it
don't
to like
remember
random,
if we've seen much of Frenzy.
Yeah, she got a little bit in this issue, but I want a little bit more Frenzy. I agree.
Yeah. She was just kind of with Pybok a little bit, and that was it.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah.
So yeah, next episode we are doing X-Men number 18 through 19, and Marauders number 18.
Woo! Excited to get back to the mainline X-Men.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Back to it.
Looking forward to it.
It has been a while since I think we've gotten like mainline X-Men, so it should be good.
Yes, it has been a minute. When was the last time we did this?
It was
episode 51.
I want to say 7 or 8 episodes ago.
Yeah.
Yes. It has been a while.
That
so
series
that'll be fun.
is I don't know if you guys have noticed, that series is wrapping up.
It is. That's one of the ones that are going to start wrapping up. We have a couple that are going to be doing the same thing. We're going to be coming up to an event soon-ish. It's still going to be a while here for the podcast, but we are going to see more build up towards it in these issues.
But all right, we have any plugs we want to do here?
Yes, we do. If you have listened this far, thank you so much for listening. If you could leave us a review on your podcasting app of choice, that would be great. It helps us get out there and find more people to read along with us and join us in this journey through the X-Men era. Or the X-Men, what did we say? It was the time, it was the era.
The
of
Krakoan
Krakoa.
age.
There we go. That was the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
So if you could leave us a review, that would be great. And if you have any comments, your favorite jokes, why Fabian Cortez absolutely sucks, you can send us a message at studyofx@gmail.com, and we might just read it here on the podcast. And if you are looking for this podcast on social media, you can find it on X, also known as Twitter. You can find it on Tumblr, and also now on Blue Sky. Blue Sky is up and running, so if you do want to follow it there, you can do it there as well. Everything posted is the same across all three, although I did do a little fun graphic for the Blue Sky return, and I kind of liked it. So on all of the social media accounts, that'll be Study of X. It is the same across all three of them. So just go ahead and follow us there. I'm going to be posting some pages from the comics that we've read, some other little tidbits of information we've talked about here, as well as our reading order. And if you are looking for us individually, you can find me at Sonics, that is SAWNEEKS, on Blue Sky. I did mention, I believe maybe 2 to 3 episodes ago, I was going to post more on my playthrough of every single X-Men game, and my deadline was when that episode came out. I didn't do it, and I'm sorry. I will get to it soon.
Wow.
I know, I feel really bad. My next one is the X-Men arcade game. I should be on that.
Yeah.
I'll get to it soon. However, if you would like to find Tim and ask him if Manifold is a teleporter or not, Tim, where can they find you to ask you about that?
They left me in the Sahara Desert.
Ooh.
Not-
the Sahara too?
Yeah, not the same desert, but a different desert.
Oof, I am so sorry. Did they at least leave you some water, maybe some ice cubes?
Yeah. It was
Oh, okay.
got some ice in my shirt.
Okay, that's good. Good luck. I hope you can walk to the nearest city quickly.
Okay, thank you.
And Sergio, if they are looking for you because they really, really like these Null Cable monologues and want to recite one to you and ask how they did, where can they find you to, get your opinion?
Sorry, I'm busy at the moment. They needed me at the S.W.O.R.D.
Ooh, okay. Are you at least with one of the leaders that has good odds?
I can't talk about it. I'm just at the S.W.O.R.D.
Okay. Well, enjoy the Snark War. I hear it only happens every few decades, so take the most of it.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, good. Alright, well, until next time, everyone. Later, mutants.
Bye.
Bye.